Welcome once again, board members. The boardroom is open, and today it's another episode of Shelf Talk, where I take a game off the shelf and I talk about it. Today's game is Tsuro, the game of the path. Tsuro, the game of the path, was once published by WizKids, and I believe now it's published by Calliope Games. The box art I'm using in this particular video is my actual box. I've had this game since it came out. You can see the wear and tear on this box. I've played it a lot. It's come on and off my shelf many, many times. 2 to 8 player game where you're playing a tile that has paths on it. You take your player piece and move along the path. The object of the game is to keep your piece on the board on a path somewhere. It's a great game, and let's get down to the table, look at components, look at the rules, and find out how you can win in a game of Tsuro. Okay. We've got the components laid out. Aside from the box and the rule book, this is all that comes with the game of Tsuro. You've got a beautiful board here with like a phoenix art in the background. You've got the player tiles here. This is the dragon tile. The dragon tile goes on the bottom of the tile stack to let you know you've finished dealing out the stack, and whoever gets that dragon tile will be the first to get a replacement card once an opponent is eliminated from the game. More on that in a little bit. These are the player pieces. You'll choose one of your favorite color. I call this one butterscotch, and it's always my favorite because butterscotch is the best flavor of candy in the world, in case you didn't know. Now that you do know, you take your player piece, you pick any hash mark here. So we'll pick this one, and that's where my player starts. Let's say somebody else wants this here banana piece. I'm going to start there. And we'll just use, well, we'll put another player out here. Lime green, there you go. Okay, we'll get the rest of these off the board. Each player is then dealt 3 of these tiles. So we'll put a couple of these back for purposes of this video. On your turn, you'll play a tile, like so, you have to put it in front of your piece. Then, whichever path is in front of your player piece, you move it along that path. Now your tiles are actually hidden from the opponents, so they don't know what you got, like so. Once you have taken your turn, you draw a replacement tile. One thing you never want to do as a player is play this loop tile like so on your first move, or you're off the board and you're out of the game. So don't do that. All right, yellow player, your turn. You're going to play this tile, move along this path, and draw a replacement tile. Green, like how there's no strategy here, right? They just take the top tile of their stack because I'm just demoing this. My videos are never scripted, heavily edited. So we'll take that tile there. I'm going to play this tile here and move up this path and so on. And you keep doing this until somebody is knocked out of the game. So I'm going to try to force yellow here to go meet up with orange and see if we can make that happen right here, just by doing the top card every time. Green just wants to keep to himself. He's going to just hang out up there and let these two battle it out. As the orange player or butterscotch player, you can also configure any which way you want to turn your path. So I could go here to follow that path. Then yellow says, you're not getting away from me that easy, butterscotch. Follows the path. Now the caveat to this move is that the yellow player just put their destiny in the hands of the orange player, the butterscotch player. So in this particular example, if I were to play this tile, this is where it gets fun. It's where the game really, really shines. I then follow my path, taking me basically nowhere, and then yellow is forced to follow its path to its conclusion. Anytime a tile touches the edge where you are, you have to follow that edge to its conclusion. So that's it for a game of Tsuro. You keep going like this until all of the players but one are still left on the board. If the last 2 players are limited at the same time, tie in the victory, I believe. I don't think they both defeated. I believe they share the victory, quite possibly. Or they both share in the loss. You get to choose. It's your game after all. All right, let's get back to the top of the table and I'll tell you my final thoughts about Tsuro, the game of the path. That's all there is to Tsuro. You draw a tile, or you play a tile, one of your three, move your piece along the path, and draw a tile, and that's your turn. Stay on the board. Here's some tips. 1, if you can loop back to the same tile over and over and over, just stay in your little corner. The longer you can, the better. 2, save those little let me see if I have the example here. I know I had it. Yes. Save these with these little half circles in the bottom. They allow you to loop back to the tile you were just on, again, creating that staying in your own little zone strategy. The longer you can do that, the better. Just hang on and hang on for dear life. Don't put your piece in a position where the opponents can play something in front of your piece because they're going to dictate which direction you head next. So keep away from that, and you should do well in Tsuro. This game plays well. Now, it doesn't play heavily strategically with 4- and 5-year-olds, but it plays okay with 4- and 5-year-olds. They understand follow the line. Just move your piece along the line. And if you want to get your kids playing some games with you, this one's a sure bet because it's that simple to understand. Maybe you don't introduce all of the rules. You say, here's your card, play it, and move your piece along, and then they can learn to pick from 3 different cards later once they understand it and they get a little bit older. But I did play this with our 3-year-old, and he understood moving his piece along the line. It's not that difficult. So it's a great game to play with your kids. It's a great family fun game. It's a great friendly fun game. Not super strategic. It's a blast. And you can play with up to 9 players. Super easy. You don't get a whole bunch of turns at 9 players because 9 times 3 is 27. And there's only, I'm going to count them on the board here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 by 6 grid, 36. Like, by the time the grid's full, everybody's almost kicked off. So that's like 2 rounds per player. It's that crazy of a game. I highly recommend it. Tsuro, the game of the path. There are a couple of expansions. There's one about the seas, and the other one escapes me, but I'm sure I'll put it in the edited video. Because remember, these are never scripted, heavily edited videos. But as always, if you like this content, please give it a thumbs up. Tell me what you think about Tsuro or what your favorite family-friendly, fun family game is. I'd like to hear about that as well. Maybe I've played it. I'd share my thoughts with you as well. If you like it, thumbs up, give me a comment below, subscribe, or even ring that notification bell. And because every bit helps, I really appreciate it. As always, we'll see you at the next boardroom meeting.